there, everybody, and welcome to Historical Trends. I'm Dr. Don Frazier, and this is Stone Coston. Today we are going to be discussing the idea that the planet we walk on is actually flat.
Yes, sir.
Let's see if we can run this idea out together.
Let's start off by setting the scene. Imagine waking up on a sunny Sunday morning and going on your routine coffee trip.
Okay.
However, upon your arrival to the coffee shop, it seems that they are holding some kind of convention. That convention just happens to consist of the group of people known as the Flat Earthers.
So what exactly are Flat Earthers?
Well, Flat Earthers are a group of people that reject the idea that the Earth is a sphere. Let's dive into the vast ocean of flat Earth ideology, and let's see what it's all about.
All right, so this is people that are essentially rejecting common science and stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess kind of rebelling against.
Rebelling, maybe that's the key. All right.
The idea of flat Earth is pretty self-explanatory. Followers believe the Earth is, well, it's flat.
Okay, hence the name.
Yeah.
Pretty conventional naming technique. So they claim it's flat.
Yes, they don't really have any solid proof, but that is what they believe. They believe it's flat, or some of the younger followers may call it roundant.
It's roundant.
Yeah, just not round.
That's very clever.
One thing that may be important to know is that the idea of a flat Earth, it's kind of like a religion. It's like a religion in the fact that there are many different ideas and beliefs behind it. They don't all believe one thing. Even though this whole view may be ridiculous to some people, they have thought their idea through, so there is some credit to be given. They didn't just come up with some patchy idea that has holes throughout the entire plot of its story.
But what's the point of this religion? Is if you believe in flat Earth, is there some sort of afterlife, or is there some sort of basis for redemption or moral code? Do you live a better life if you're a flat earther?
It's simply the fact of not conforming to
okay, so this is
normal.
just young people saying, okay.
Yeah.
Keep going.
The concept behind these beliefs they've been thoroughly thought out, and they have reasons to back up every statement they make about their beliefs. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you're confronting or being confronted by a flat earther, then I guarantee they will have some information to fill you in.
Oh, they'll have something to fill you in on.
So go ahead and ask them a question. Think of it as a game. Try to stump them, because I think that no matter what, they will have done their research and they will be able to back up their claims.
Okay, so we're talking maybe a game of Flat Earth Jeopardy. All right, we will try to unravel the mysteries of the Flat Earthers after this break.
When you support McWhinney History Education Group, you also support the many young workers who operate and maintain the company's digital operations. These are dedicated university students who handle many things such as filming, recording, and editing content for McWhinney, as well as cultivate the layout and structure of McWhinney's various websites, including its associated channel on YouTube. We are a nonprofit organization that exists from donations from interested persons and history enthusiasts alike. Donations enable our students to obtain a higher education, job training, and career bolstering skills. If you would like to donate, please visit us at www.mcwhinney.org and click on our About Us tab to learn more.
Welcome back, everybody. Okay, let's explain this weirdness.
First, let's go way back to the Babylonian time.
Okay, let's.
Their beliefs that the earth was hollow to provide space for their underworld, an area of the afterlife, if you will.
Navajos thought the same thing.
Yeah, so I guess it's kind of...
The people crawled out of a hole in the ground, and that's how people came onto the earth. All right.
The Egyptians, on the other hand, believed that the earth was a giant square, with each major mountain range representing a corner.
Dead people were called Westerners.
Well,
because that's where you went when you died, to the west. Okay.
However, all other major groups of the world believe that the earth was flat, that the planet we live on is just a big plate, and if one travels too far, they'll fall off into the void.
The void.
Aristotle was the first to challenge the idea and wanted to prove that the earth was in fact a sphere.
Okay.
He tried supporting his ideas with reasons like the fact that when ships disappeared over the horizon, they did it gradually. He also stated that the curvature of the Earth caused the round, shadow or the curved shadow on the moon. An argument against Aristotle's claim was that the Bible mentioned the four corners, the corners being part of the square, or something not round. Being a religious statement, many people stuck to it for a long time.
It makes sense.
Yeah. However, over time, it became a more popular idea that the Earth was indeed spherical. This idea remained popular for generations to come, and even though it is still the main belief, the idea of flat Earth has lit a new light. Now the idea of flat Earth has evolved from its previous state, and they discuss these ideas at conventions or even clubs.
Okay, so they hold like a Comic-Con convention to talk about flat Earth.
Basically.
Maybe do some recreational stuff while they're at it, have conversations around that.
They just do all this without the costumes and everything.
Yeah, nice.
However, to fully understand their beliefs, let's talk about the basics of the modern day ideas first.
Okay.
The Earth itself is supposedly an endless plane that has areas where we are forbidden to access.
By?
Well, the group that forbids us from entering these areas is the government.
It's always the government. It's Trump's fault.
Yeah,
or the George Bush's fault.
The whole
Maybe it's
idea
Obama's fault.
was created by them to be $1 billion scheme.
The government's created this no-go area in order to generate revenue?
Yeah, it sounds kind of patchy.
Yeah.
But that's what they're
somebody's going to have to show me the math on that because that makes no sense. All right, so tell me how NASA's involved in this, because I'm sure NASA's involved.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing is to give the higher-ups another source of money, and this is generated by NASA, which is proclaimed to be a tax scheme.
Is Disney involved somehow?
Oh, who knows? They may own NASA.
They may own NASA. Okay, please continue.
Let's get back to the plane. The part of the plane we're supposedly allowed access to is just the land we know.
Okay.
Surrounding our known land is Antarctica.
Of course.
Yeah.
A forbidden frozen zone that rims the plane.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like Trump's wall just around our world.
And made of ice.
Yes.
Because winter is coming.
Keeps the penguins out.
The White Walkers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It is believed that the continent itself stretches around the plane, creating a border between us and the unknown.
Convenient.
The unknown, which we supposedly know nothing about, behind Antarctica.
Unknown.
There's supposedly other life forms.
Like chupacabras.
Yeah.
And hysteropostamins.
Yeah, now that we know about this unknown land, let's discuss space and what they believe in about that.
Okay.
One belief is that space doesn't exist in the first place.
Of course.
So no Space Force, nothing like that.
Oh,
it's
man.
just a void.
It's going to be a lot of disappointed people.
Yeah. However, according to the Flat Earth Society, space does exist, and it may soon be a war zone.
Well, that would make sense. That's why we need Space Force.
Mm-hmm. They claim that NASA has a part in this.
Of course they
do. The purpose of NASA here in this conspiracy is to lengthen our military reach into space.
To what purpose?
Well, just so we have dominance up there.
And having dominance gives us what?
I guess the scare factor.
And the scare factor gives us what?
Power and money.
And power and money to do what?
Just to say you have it.
Really? So all this is just a very elaborate scheme to sit around and say, "Yay, look at me, I'm Scrooge McDuck. I'm rolling around in my money." This is a very simplistic argument. All right, please continue on.
Well, while we believe that they are trying to reach celestial bodies like the moon, Mars, or even other further planets, NASA is actually sending missiles and other military items up there to establish this dominance. The common motto, scientific exploration of new frontiers for all mankind, is nothing but a front.
Really?
Supposedly. Dr. Frazier, what do you think about on a sunny summer day?
How about a hammock, a beach, and a nice bright blue sky?
You know, I think it's something similar. But that bright blue sky may not be what we think it is.
I also think about science and truth and,
just something to keep your mind active. I understand.
But anyhow, please, go on.
According to flat earthers, the blue in the sky is caused by water.
It is.
Indeed.
Weird. That's almost right.
We're supposedly surrounded by a dome of H2O.
In fact, we are. That's what we call relative humidity.
One question that this statement creates is how does the water stay covering the Earth in its dome form?
Probably magic.
Maybe it's just as believable. Well, according to Flat Earth Society, gravity is not the reason behind it. They say this because supposedly gravity is just another conspiracy used to back the lies being told.
So the government made up gravity.
Yes.
Of course they
It's
did.
part of their billion-dollar scheme.
Now, which administration invented gravity?
Well,
Is this
it dates back. The government has kind of like just adopted the idea. It wasn't necessarily created, but it goes back to when.
So the government said, "Hey, gravity's a good idea. We should believe in it."
They, as a whole, they just decided that gravity is a good, I guess, idea of proof for the round Earth.
Okay, please carry on.
Well, the reasoning behind everything and everyone being forced to the ground is because the Earth is rising at a rate of 32 feet per second.
So we're on a gigantic elevator.
Yeah, basically just a big flat elevator going through the void.
To what end?
Well, no end, supposedly.
Okay, so it's just absolutely a pointless travel through the void. And so why are you here? Why am I here?
I guess we're just living out life as beings on a plane.
So we're beans on a plate.
Mm-hmm.
Just like a rodeo.
Just little
We're
grains of rice.
Like little beans. Yippee-ki-yi-yo. All right, go on.
Another point that I'd like to make is the sense of direction on this plane.
Okay.
If someone heads to the north, then they are heading to the center of our land.
Of the plate.
Yeah. If one heads away from the center, then they're going south.
Okay.
East is represented by going around the plane clockwise, and west is heading around the plane counterclockwise.
Okay. But where is all the proof to back all this nonsense up?
Okay. Well, let me hit you with a few explanations here.
Please.
One experiment held was just one to find just how level the water is on Earth.
Okay.
And it was found that all resting water would be completely level, so the Earth must be flat.
Now, who conducted this experiment, and what was their technique and method?
Well, basically eyesight. And this was
Okay.
found by an anonymous, scientist.
No. An anonymous scientist did not do this. That's garbage. This reminds me so much of an 8th grade conversation. Just a bunch of 8th graders sitting around, behind the gym, kind of hanging out and discovering new things. And they're going, I think the Earth is flat. And then they spin off on this conversation. I don't believe an anonymous scientist did this experiment, but please continue.
Well, I guess that's just as believable as everything else
That's true.
they've been saying.
Yeah, there is no reality.
And if
Listen to the Beatles, man. They'll tell you that.
yeah, if our Earth was in fact round, then the level of the water would be convex, and it wouldn't be flat. So
Sure.
it wouldn't
That's
be
right.
level.
I'd be looking at a glass of water and it'd be domed.
Another fact lies just over the horizon. In fact, the answer is the horizon, because if one looks out onto the sunset, they won't see the sun setting over a curved line. That line is straight across. So, boom, the Earth must be flat.
So these people have never been in an airplane is what I'm hearing.
I guess not.
Okay.
If you ever want updates on Flat Earth and their society, you can subscribe to Flat Earth Society for just $10 a year.
See, we're talking about the government making billions. That's who's making the money. $10 a year for yodel heads to sign up for it.
Hey, you
right.
got to make money somehow. So
Yeah, there seems to be a lot more constructive ways, but besides deluding stoners. All right.
But however, if this society isn't for you, then
It's
maybe
not.
you should check out the Flat Earth Society of Canada.
I doubt it.
What is different about this society is that the followers of this group strictly believe in following evidence.
Okay. Evidence.
They show distaste in the followers of other societies because they are supposedly jumping on the bandwagon to get away from the norm.
Okay.
Now they believe in the same thing, a pancake-like Earth. Yet the leader of the Canadian Society, Leo Ferrari, claims to have nearly fallen off the edge of this Earth.
Wow. When did this happen and where?
Well, this supposedly happened in 1984 on Fogo Island.
Fogo Island. That's known for people falling off into the void.
Well, Leo Ferrari specifically. This island is located in Canada, which is his home country.
Okay, so where is Fogo Island? Other than it's in Canada. Canada is a big place. It's like America's hat. It's towards the center of the big plain.
Fogo Island is on the eastern part of Canada.
Okay. And he nearly fell off into the void.
Yes.
But how did he get there without going through Antarctica first?
Well, that's one other loophole behind.
There's so many issues with this. Gosh. All right. Those dang Canadians. Always trying to outdo us. We now know that Mr. Ferrari was behind the Canadian section, but who are the folks that are driving this American phenomenon?
Well, one name that stands out for the American Society is Charles K. Johnson. Mr. Johnson was the president of the International Flat Earth Research Society. Well, one thing Johnson stated is that he believes the Ten Commandments were created in 1492 instead of the original date believed.
Which is?
1491.
So you think the Ten Commandments were invented in 1491?
Not me personally, but
Flat Earthers do?
Charles K. Johnson, apparently.
Okay. So the Ten Commandments, we're talking about the laws brought down from Mount Sinai according to Old Testament tradition and Scripture and all that, were invented in 1492. Not 1491 like everybody supposes, except I don't know who everybody is.
Well, everybody being the societies.
Well, they're dumb. All right. Tell me exactly how this works.
Well, this was one of his ways to convince the public that not everything was like it seems.
So it's all a big illusion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, this is significant because it adds symmetry to another date, that being 1492 AD. And in this year, Christopher Columbus had a problem with his crew during his voyage.
Because they were afraid they were going over the edge.
Yeah, and this problem regarded the flat earth and the void.
Okay.
The original story tells that they were scared that they would fall off the side of the world, and they nearly had a mutiny. However, Johnson claims that, in fact, it was the other way around. He proclaims that Columbus was the flat earther, and his crew believed that the earth was a ball. The crew got scared that when they went down the curve, that they'd just keep falling. They wouldn't be able to get back home.
Because government hadn't invented gravity yet.
Yes. And everything just went down instead of being able to come back up. So to get them back to sanity, Columbus supposedly put them in irons and beat them until they were convinced that the earth didn't have any curves and it was just flat.
They were beaten to improve morale, okay.
Yes.
And what evidence is there? What proof does Johnson offer?
Well, what's odd is that he doesn't offer any concrete evidence. There's no aha-like statement that will just completely prove his theory.
Yeah, because it's garbage. All right, so where was this Yahoo from?
Well, before he passed away, Charles K. Johnson...
So he's dead?
Yes, sir.
Well, did he fall into the void?
He may have. I'm not too sure on
Where did he fall into the void from?
Maybe Canada, where Leo Ferrari.
That's California. He's from
California. He is from California.
Yeah, that sounded California.
Well, his one thing of evidence is he said that he has read writings of it, but he has never offered or given any proof of these writings. They're just in his head.
Not anymore because he's dead.
Well, yeah, they were in his head. So these writings are they're lost.
Okay, thanks for sharing all these unsubstantiated fantasies. Sounds a lot like the current political climate. I wonder how flat earthers vote. Oh, wait, I think I already know.
Well, that's beyond the scope of this show.
Okay, so who really takes this stuff seriously? I mean, this sounds like a bunch of kids who like to sit around and act like they are smart without actually having to apply any real mental faculties to things that matter. Perhaps accelerated by booze or recreational cannabis.
Well, maybe. Well, there really is no stereotype for this group of people. It could be anybody. It could be me. It could be the cashier at your local supermarket.
Really?
It could be your Uber driver, or it could even be your freshman seminar teacher.
Doubtful. Really, really doubtful, because you don't get to a position where you're teaching freshman seminar by sitting around having nonsense conversations. Well, I don't know, maybe you do. It's called faculty meetings. Anyhow, so these people are willing to risk their professional reputation by endorsing this fantasy?
Yeah, I mean, the whole point behind it is just to get away from the normal and, I guess, just be unique.
Okay, so this is a little bit about attention grabbing. All
Yeah.
right. Now then, it does beg a curious question. How do we know what we know? I would tell you that there's a chain of intellectual activity. I mean, the Greeks would talk about wisdom being following an idea all the way to its source. There's an intellectual genealogy, then, to every idea. And that is where we build our body of knowledge that we think we know today. So how do we know what we know, and how do we know it?
Well, any idea can be argued against,
Well,
even proven.
That's actually the cornerstone of Western civilization. The entire idea of Greek philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Being able to think your own thoughts.
Okay.
But unfortunately, it gets us into some curious situations.
well, sure, a famous one during the Renaissance was how many angels could dance on the head of a pin by doing the same sort of exercise. All right. So following that logic, then we should question everything, including our own existence.
I think, therefore, I am.
Okay. That falls into the realm of philosophy, not to mention every other discipline on a college campus. Sounds like these folks like to make conclusions without doing the heavy lifting of following the evidence.
Maybe. I mean, they are a curiosity.
A mere curiosity. Then why do we do a show about them?
Well, the whole point of doing a show on flat Earth and their ideas behind it is just to show that there are different groups of people who think they're believe in different things, that you don't have to go with the normal. And even though it may be ridiculous to people who believe the Earth is a sphere,
Yes.
wholeheartedly, there are people. It's to show that there are people out there who believe in something else, who's even something I guess, as ridiculous as a flat Earth.
Okay. Well, we'll start unpacking this a little deeper right after this break.
History has become one of the most fought-over battlegrounds in terms of shifting people's views and opinions about their country. In response to this, we have decided to launch a website called Go To History that will become your home for clear-eyed history content. Our objective is to put history out there, free of agendas, and allow you, the viewers, to decide what you believe and decide how to interpret this information. With experienced professors such as Dr. Don Frazier and Dr. Stephen Hardin teaching courses and creating agenda-free content for students and just plain history enthusiasts, the content of Go To History is vastly informative and unbiased.
History people, it's Phil Collins here. I am just giving a shout out to a couple of guys that you're going to be hearing from. And they're good friends of mine, but they're also incredibly knowledgeable historians. Dr. Donald Frazier and Dr. Stephen Hardin. Both great friends of mine, both helped me out with my book on the Alamo. And two guys, if you don't know much about history, these are the first two guys you should go to. Okay, what they don't know isn't worth knowing. Don Frazier, Steve Hardin, I hope you enjoy their presentations.
My name is Evan Williams, a history major at McMurray University, and I love the layout of the Go To website. I mean, it is singularly built from the ground up with user convenience in mind. Every study available is within a single Courses tab, with each lesson having a single page for each of its individual videos, text, visuals, and quizzes, all at easy grasp. This is most definitely history made simple.
Please log on to www.gotohistory.com.
Okay, welcome back. This is a very incredulous episode of Historical Trends. Now, Stone, why do you think there's doubt that the Earth is flat, despite all the evidence that exists that the Earth is in fact flat?
Dr. Frazier, I think that people believe the Earth is flat simply because it's human nature to question the normal ideas. I mean, everyone wants to go off and believe their own thing, and these people, they stick behind it. Even if a human, if they get a hint that something may not be as it seems, they'll build on that idea. I guess, just your mind races about what could be possible.
So this is the process of discovery then?
Yes, almost. Even though most people may just see the idea of flat Earth just being stubborn or ignorant, just going against the normal, just being, I guess, a rebel just to be a rebel.
Yeah, just to be, contrary. I can see that.
Think about it as if you were in their situation.
Okay.
Would you want someone stomping on your beliefs, or would you, and you just let it happen, or would you try and find some way to back it up?
Well, it depends on if these were sincere beliefs or just kind of cockamamie beliefs. I've argued, it's called being devil's advocate in some argumentative states. You take the opposite position just to sharpshoot the position that's being advocated. So I can get that. But if somebody said, well, you're dumb for being a flat earther, I don't think I'd go get Beatty hurt.
Well, think of it as if someone said you're dumb for liking history.
Okay.
Well, would
Then
you
what
just
happens?
kind of
Then I'd
take
say,
it, or
Yeah,
would
I'd
you?
say, well, okay.
Well, some people.
Because what's the point? All right, so I'm done for liking history, says you.
Fair enough.
Now, you're a physics engineering major. So what if flat earther comes up there and says, no, you need to build that bridge with all the supports facing the sky to keep the water dome from crashing down upon it. You don't need any supports underneath it because the fake gravity is propelling this bridge up on the big disc.
Well, I would show them personally. I'd try my best to convince them.
Try your best to convince them.
Yeah,
So
and
you'd spend a lot of your life force trying to convince
a single person.
a single person.
And
So all of
yeah.
a sudden you're going, you know what, I think I'm going to go get a burrito instead because this is a useless argument.
As meaningless as that seems, that's what every argument boils down to. What's the point of arguing over anything if everyone's just gonna
Man,
believe their own thing?
You're right. We should just all eat a burrito and let life rock on.
There we go. Burritos seem to be the answer.
Burritos for everybody. Okay. All right. So why does the Earth have to be flat? Couldn't it be a rhombus?
Well, it could be anything you believe in, I guess.
Then I like triangle.
Well, there we go. Well, there are other theories behind the shape of the Earth, and one that stands out is dodecahedron theory.
Okay.
Not as popular as the Flat Earth Society, but this society calls themselves the Rhombohexagonal Dodecahedron Earth Society. I'll try and say that one 5 times.
Praise the great dodecahedron hysteropostamen. Yes, please.
Well, this idea that the Earth is in the shape of a dodecahedron,
Yes.
which is a mathematical shape which is believed to make up the universe.
It's a geometrical shape.
Yes.
Wow.
And the Earth may be one just as well as it might be a flat Earth.
Maybe it's like, what's that game where they're in a big ring that's rotating? The shoot 'em up game. What am I thinking of?
I don't know. I can't think of that one.
It's got the little blue sticky bombs that you throw on people. The computer game. It's not Call of Duty. It's no, not Mario Kart. Come on, don't hit me with the girl answer. Come on, Space Force. What is it? Master Sergeant.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, that's actually a game. Come on, man.
Oh, it's a Halo.
Halo. Thank you.
I love that game. Yeah.
Yeah. So how do we know that the universe isn't Halo?
Well, it very well could be. If you
Okay.
can believe that the Earth is a dodecahedron, or that it's flat, or
Yeah.
that it's a triangle, you can believe that it's a big ring.
Okay.
It may even be a wedding ring, just on some other.
Man, a big giant wedding ring on the Colossus of the Void.
Yeah.
Dang, this is awesome. I am so glad we're spending all this time thinking about this.
Amusingly,
Yes, this is a
the dodecahedron, or the rhombohexagonal dodecahedron Earth
you
Society,
just like to say that word.
they mock the Flat Earth Society and believes that they are a joke.
Wouldn't you know it? There's always a split when it comes to religion.
There's always one group trying to beat you down.
Yeah.
But
All right, so I've got a little bit of misbelief beef. Is all this stuff essentially social satire?
well, basically, I mean, they disregard ideas that are just as believable and outrageous as their own. If the world, like I said earlier, if the world can be a flat plane, what's stopping it from being a dodecahedron or maybe even a square? Nothing.
Or Halo.
Or a halo.
How about we let the viewers ask a couple of questions and see what they may be wondering?
Well, that sounds like a wonderful idea.
Let's
Let's
take
see
a
what they
break. My
have.
head hurts. All right, we'll be right back.
Bear Leader Tours. Where will Bear Leader Tours take you? Everywhere. Paris, Bruges, Trier, battlefields, Pearl Harbor, Pacific beaches, New Orleans. Join the adventure.
www.mcwhinney.org.
Welcome back. All right, let's see what questions are out there right now. This question comes from At the Office Lover. How many people believe that the Earth is flat? I mean, what's the population of these social satirists?
Well, there is no way to know the exact amount of people because some may be scared to show that they believe in it. But the Flat Earth Society has 63,000 followers on Twitter.
Of course it does.
And almost 181,000 people follow them on Facebook.
Wow. This sounds like it's right for a sociological experiment.
Yes.
So which country is the center of gravity for the Flat Earth Society?
Well, as of now, America has the highest number of believers,
America's
and it seems.
a continent. So you mean the United States?
Oh yes, the
Okay.
United States.
Okay.
The United States has the highest number of believers, and it seems the percentage is still growing.
Okay.
The percentages right now are that 84% have always thought the Earth was round,
Okay.
and 14% are skeptical, undecided, while 2% have always believed that it's flat.
All right, so this is a population survey taken by who?
Well, I don't know the exact source behind who took this poll, but
I mean, what's the sourcing on this poll? How do I know you didn't just pull this out of your ear?
well, I very well could have, just like any other.
Okay.
Statement
So,
being
yeah, how do
made
we
here.
know what we know? And
Yeah.
how do we know it? Okay. This is awesome. Now, how many different flat Earth-like beliefs are there?
Well, there could technically be an infinite number of beliefs for what the Earth looks like.
Absolutely, in multiple dimensions, and my
Mhm.
gosh, we're talking about physics now.
The most popular being spherical, which is the normal, accepted, proven shape. However, but besides the normal belief,
Unless you're a flat earther, then it's
Unless-
not proven. It's just a big conspiracy.
it's just a big conspiracy. It's
So
all fake.
NASA can tax us for money so that we can stack up money for the sake of stacking up money
And to put tanks on the moon.
and put tanks on the moon.
Exactly.
Okay.
But besides the normal belief, there are two main ones. This
Okay.
being the flat Earth belief and
Yes.
then the dodecahedron shaped.
Okay.
The reasoning behind the dodecahedron is that it is the mathematical shape which supposedly builds everything we know. So if a universe could be built, or look close enough, and it goes back down to this dodecahedron shape, then our Earth could be dodecahedron shape, which would match the rest of the universe.
Okay. This question comes from Instagram. What is the demographic of believers? Is it younger or older? I already know the answer, but please.
Well, the demographic for the flat Earth theory is definitely popular among the younger generation. This is because older people don't generally tend to stray away from the popular belief, while younger people are, I guess, being hip and want to be more free-minded. So this is their way of standing out.
So there's no benefit to collective wisdom?
Supposedly not. I guess
Wow,
there's more
okay.
benefit here to being your own person.
Man, I want to hire somebody that comes from this group.
Think of it as kind of a rebellion, going against the
Yeah.
common idea.
It's rebellion.
It's their way to be edgy or, I guess, unique.
I bet there's a lot of tattoos in this crowd, too. Oh, well. Our final question comes from Facebook by Stan Demon. He asked, should I be worried about falling off the earth?
Well, Stan, If you believe in the flat Earth and all the ideas behind it, all the conditions, then maybe you should be.
Okay.
However, if you're sensible and you agree with proven observations, then no. I would not be worried about falling off the Earth because, well, it's round, so you're just going to make a trip around before you fall off anything.
Maybe. That's true. But then again, how do we know what we know, and how do we know it?
That's true. Maybe you can, if you jump hard enough, maybe you'll go into the void.
Stan, I believe my advice to you would be to test it endlessly.
Go out, see if you can
just
fall
keep
off.
testing it forever. And then if you fall off, you were right. If you didn't fall off, then you were wrong. Great. All right, that's all we have for today. This has been a bizarre episode of Historical Trends. Thanks for watching.